What is up, guys? Today, I want to go over 5 reasons/benefits on why you should shoot a competition or competitively in general. I feel like there's a lot of benefits from shooting in these types of matches, and I want to go into more detail on the topic, at least more than I have in the past. Now, I've been shooting matches for about 2 years now, and I think this has played a major role in my skill development. It's also something that can actually help you in a self-defense shooting. I know for many people, it can be intimidating to go into your first match. Trust me, that was me 100%, but change doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Getting out of your comfort zone goes hand in hand with skill development, and I found that this was the perfect way to do it, while being safe and having proper guidance. Another reason people are hesitant to go into a competition is they think they're not good enough, or that they have to be at a certain skill level before trying this. But I'm here to say that is simply not the case. The matches you can find in your local area are very beginner friendly, and there will more than likely be people there to help you, guide you through the process. All right, let's get into reason number 1. The first reason I think everyone should start shooting competitively is that it forces you to shoot under pressure. You may not know this, but there's a lot of felt pressure when you're asked to shoot on demand in front of a lot of people. Some say it's comparable to what you may feel during a self-defense encounter. Though I can't say for certain that both share the same feeling, I can say that both require you to shoot cold. And when I say shoot cold, I mean having to apply your skills without having any form of warm-up. Think about it this way. When you're playing basketball or jog or playing football, you need a little time to warm up so that you can perform your best. When you first start playing that day, you always feel a little rusty, even if you've been partaking in this hobby for months or even years. So just like those hobbies, it's easier to perform at your best after a warm-up of some sort. Not getting a warm-up and having to execute all your learnings in one go is called performing cold. The pressure of having many eyes on you while you attempt to shoot a stage as efficiently as you can never really goes away. And it's a great way to practice while your nerves and heart rate are increased. Most people that shoot strictly at a local flat range drastically underestimate this aspect when it comes to competitions. I've seen new competitors lose focus and drop mags, forget stage plans, or even forget targets. And I'm not making fun of these people because I used to be one of them. But the only way you can learn is by putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation and continuing to pursue knowledge that will help you better your skill set. Learning how to control the stress of shooting under pressure is a very valuable skill. It really tests your mental ability and endurance in a difficult and somewhat stressful environment. Speaking of mental ability, the second reason I find competitions to be highly valuable is that it tests and evaluates your mental endurance. If I told you to shoot 2 rounds at a target at 7 yards, I'd like to believe 99% of y'all could do that without any sort of hiccups. But if I told you there were 12 targets that needed to be engaged, 2 of them being steel, 8 of them being partials, and they are all placed in different positions facing different directions, a lot of us would probably need a few minutes to process all that information just to get familiar with the scene that has just been painted before us. Now imagine doing that while adding shooting and footwork. Most people when shooting a gun are focused on one thing, and that's shooting the gun. We are fixated on making sure the sights are on target and having a good trigger pull. And once that action is done, our mind pauses because we are either waiting to see the result or starting to think of if we want to redo our last shot. In a competition, you have more than just one task to focus on. Much more. You will be pushed to not only aim and shoot, but to think about your next 10 to 20 shots. You will have to think about the position you'll want to move to next, and you'll be thinking about when and where is the best place to reload in this particular stage. I know this might sound like a simple thing to do because we think all day long, every day, but believe me, and I know many of my fellow competitors can attest to this happening to them before. But once you step up to the line, even after you formulated a solid game plan, as soon as the timer goes off, everything goes black. And this plays into what I was saying previously, that shooting in a high stress scenario can be very difficult. But I'll emphasize again, competitions are a great place to practice. Reason number 3 to compete is that you get more time manipulating your gun while it's hot. There are a good amount of people that dry fire at home, and it's a great way to get familiar with your firearms, and it can really help you refine those fine motor skills. But doing the same manipulations while a gun is hot is pretty difficult. I think it's sometimes a mental hurdle to confidently do the same actions because we know there are live rounds at play. Now, of course, I want everyone to be safe and to only move at a pace that you feel confident and comfortable with. But I think that a huge benefit of going to matches is that it builds that confidence pretty quickly. Competitions are set up to encourage safe gun handling, meaning if you're doing something even deemed unsafe, you'll more than likely be disqualified. So trigger pull and pointing the gun in a safe direction are constantly being drilled into your brain to the point where things just become second nature. Of course, you should be practicing these things way beforehand and early on in your gun career, but it does help solidify these safety rules the more you do them and by going to competitions. The fourth, and honestly the most overlooked thing that I think people should consider when going to competitions, is the access to quality instruction. I personally follow countless instructors on social media. These guys produce amazing content that are very intuitive and purpose-driven. I get a lot of my learnings that way, actually. These instructors also offer classes to train with them, so you have the opportunity to have them evaluate you and giving you personal beneficial critique. This is a great way to learn and find some new ways to improve in your shooting. But these classes can vary in price. They can vary between $250 to $600. Now, I'm not saying these prices aren't worth it. I actually believe that some of these instructors provide more value than they're asking for. But what I've noticed is that a lot of these good and vetted instructors participate in competitions. They do the same competitions that we all have access to. They do tend to be classified as master or grandmaster of the sport, but they're not the only ones. The amount of GM and M-class shooters I come across at my local matches is ridiculous. And guess what? These guys are always pointing out things I could have done better, where I made certain mistakes, where I excel at. And the best part about it is that it's free. Outside of you having to pay the match fee, which can be between $10 to $25, the knowledge these guys are just willing to give is just remarkable. After a year and a half of shooting, I've gained so much insight and seen some crazy improvements in my performance. Now, am I getting one-on-one training with these high-class shooters? No. And am I getting custom training regimens from these shooters? No. But I am getting tips, ideologies, and methods that in turn I might have to pay hundreds of dollars to get for the measly price of $15. Taking classes is a great idea if you're looking to improve in your shooting, but it isn't the only option. And I think competing is a great way to do that. You'll gain knowledge from fellow shooters that are much better than you, and you will gain knowledge from simply shooting and getting repetitions in. Don't forget that you can learn from yourself. Not all of my answers have been answered from an outside source. There have been many times I've had light bulb moments during a live fire and dry fire session. And the final reason I think everyone should compete is that it is simply fun. It's a blast going out and seeing how well you can stack up against others. The people are nice and the stages are fun. Think about it. You can go to an indoor range and shoot the same targets at the same distances, or you can sign up for a match and get the chance to run around, lean, and even push barricades open while engaging targets. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a lot more fun to me. At the end of the day, we are all participants in this hobby because we genuinely enjoy it. It's a great survival skill to have, of course, but it's also really, really fun. So don't forget to have fun once in a while. Not every range session needs to be a hardcore training session. Just be safe, be respectful, and have fun with other like-minded individuals. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope some of y'all end up trying your first competition in the near future. So if you do end up going to your first match, have somebody record it for you and post it on your story and tag me. I want to see what y'all are capable of. I know there's a ton of y'all that can outshoot me with your eyes closed, and I want to see it. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.